I can't find anything good in there.
Like, you would think you were talking about, like, a walk-on quarterback that had 1 touchdown and 30,000 interceptions, not a quarterback that should go number 2 overall in the NFL draft by many people's suggestions. Shady McCoy, I will start with you. Has the Shedeur Sanders criticism gone too far?
This is getting out of line now. Like, every report we have is never good. Think about it, though. Every time we talk about Shedeur, and a lot of people have him going the second quarterback off the board, and there's always some negative. Like, and my thing is, why? Because I don't come in these meeting rooms freaking trying to shine your shoes and be, oh, my God, whatever you say. No. No, we're not doing that. Because a lot...
Shady, why you
shine your shoes?
Yeah, you know, you gotta get down. It's like you get down, you got shiny shoes and all that. We ain't doing all that, man. We ain't kissing. We're not kissing the ring. This is not Game of Thrones. We're not kissing the ring. We're not doing that. And the problem is because he doesn't do that. It's an issue.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of players. Well, most players come in there because I was one of them players. Whatever you saying, GM ownership. Yes, sir. I'm gonna do whatever it is.
Yes,
you ever see me get that call? They draft them. Yeah, yes, sir. Whatever you need, man. I'm gonna do everything. Yeah. And then you get to the regular season, they become a good player, and then they have a contract dispute. Yep. He ain't saying the same thing. Yep. What's the difference? If Shedeur's gonna be a superstar now, before you draft him, and then he's a superstar after you draft him, it's gonna be the same thing. I just hate when we have these conversations about. There's nothing about on the field stuff. It's always about his arrogance. And we wouldn't be having this conversation if he wasn't a young brother that wasn't just open and honest about who he is. And the second thing is if it wasn't his daddy. And another thing people understand, you are who your dad instills in you. Yeah. And his dad instilled in him is like, yo, dog, I'm a Shedeur. I'm gonna be a superstar wherever I go. Yep. I'm gonna be a great player wherever I am. And people don't like that. It makes you uncomfortable. I noticed one thing about, even on TV, right? When you are super confident about something, people just don't like it. All the super confident players that we talk about on sports, you love them because they're a great player, but the side that you don't like about them is because, they're so confident, they're so cocky. I don't know what else you say about Shedeur Sanders. It's just funny, though. They'll find everything in the world to try to dim his light, to say he's not that good. But Jalen Murrow, right, who when
talk about him.
But I'm giving you an example, though. Like, how the media tries to control everything. With him, we're trying to find ways to say he's so good. When we watch this tape and he's okay. You get what I'm saying? But Shedeur's like, yo, I got 4,000-something yards. My team is not Alabama. They're Colorado. I don't have the best linemen. I have a whole bunch of guys from the portal. And we still trying to make excuses up for other people to be better than him. Yeah. This is sad. Yeah. It really is sad.
No, I think the criticism, I don't know that it's gone too far, but it's gotten way too public. That's how I feel about it. It's gotten way too public. The reason I think it's gotten too public is because every time somebody says something about Shedeur, the whole world hears it. The whole world hears it. Here's my thing when I think about the criticism. Worst formal interview I've ever been in my life. I don't know who that person is, so I can't speak to that. He's so entitled. I wouldn't agree. I don't think that Shedeur Sanders is entitled. I think he's had to work for on the football field everything that he's gotten, including getting Colorado 9 wins. He takes unnecessary sacks. I think that's fair. True. On tape, he does take unnecessary sacks. He never plays on time. The person who speaks in absolutes is an absolute liar. So to say he never plays on time, that's entirely too hyperbolic. A lot of quarterbacks don't play on time. He has horrible body language. I think that's subjective. I don't think he has horrible body language. People have bad body language at times. When you take 7 sacks a game, you'll probably have bad body language at times. He blames his teammates. I don't think he blames his teammates. That, I think, is absolutely incorrect. But the biggest thing is he's not that good. That's subjective. How good is that good? If you think he's generational, first-round, #1 overall pick talent, no, maybe he's not that good. If you think he should be undrafted, he definitely is that good. That's subjective. I don't think the criticism has gone too far, though, and here's why. Talking to you at home, talking to you, Shady, talking to the whole world. Remember what we said about Caleb Williams. Oh, he paints his fingernails. We had an issue with that. Remember, y'all, he had that pink phone case. We saw him at a college women's basketball game. We got on him for having a pink phone case. Remember, he went to his mom and he cried in the stands. Got on him for that. Yep. Remember, after the game, he said, I just want to go home, cuddle my dog, and watch Netflix. We got on him for that. And then we said he plays hero ball. We got on him for that. We get on polarizing quarterbacks. Yeah. If you do not want to be criticized in this world, say nothing, do nothing, and be nothing. Yeah. If you want to avoid criticism in the world, it's that easy. Say nothing, do nothing, be nothing. Shedeur Sanders has been a lot. Shedeur Sanders has done a lot. And Shedeur doesn't necessarily say a lot, but the Sanders family says a lot. No. You will be criticized, but they do a lot. They pop in. They win. So you can't avoid criticism when you are as polarizing and as dominant as Shedeur has been.
Yeah, I don't think it's gone too far, but I would agree with you. It's pretty public, and it's public because he's the most polarizing figure in this entire draft. Like, if you look at the draft up and down, there's no one really in the spotlight like Shedeur. And honestly, I agree with Shady 100%. We're highlighting this because it's Deion's kid. Let's make no mistake about it. Like, we would not be talking about this if it were any other person. There's been plenty of quarterbacks before him and plenty that will be after him that will get criticism from different NFL scouts. And look, the quarterback evaluation process, it's extremely intense. You're put under a microscope. That fourth quarter play when you're blowing out Baylor on the road in the 10th game of the year, when you're up by 20 and you have bad body language, you give the old palms up like the Peyton Manning. That's what these scouts are paid to do. That's what these teams are paid to do. There's only so many first-round graded quarterbacks, and if you're in that bunch, which Shedeur is, you're going to get every single snap that you played in your college history broken down and looked at under a microscope. These scouts and these people and these offensive coordinators and these quarterback coaches, they're trying to draw conclusions about you, not on the field, because film is on the field. They're trying to draw conclusions of you off the field. And when this happens, I wish people would put a name behind it, but I also understand why they can't, because they would get dragged through the mud. Mm-hmm. But this is one, and this is what I would tell to Shedeur. All it takes is one team. It just takes one team to fall in love with you. So while these quotes are harsh and while they're critical, they're not all wrong. He does take too many sacks. Some people would say he's entitled. Some people would say that he has a little bit of a character concern. Mm-hmm. I don't think so. I think he's a very confident, brash young man, and that's fine. I like that. I want my quarterback to be that way. But he's been insulated his entire life. The Sanders family has sort of controlled the narrative his whole life, and I think that's probably where he's going to struggle at the next level. Can you imagine if the New York Giants pick him at some point in the first round, okay, and they're on a 4-game losing streak? The Sanders family can't control what's being said in New York media. If we're concerned about one little quote from one little person in the NFL, think about what it's going to be like when you hit the NFL. Yeah. And when you have to be able to handle that. And for all I've seen from Shedeur, he's handled it. And he's going to have to continue to handle it because, like you said, when you are in the spotlight, you will get criticism.
Yeah, but criticize me on my game. If I have a 4-game losing streak, talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm throwing picks, we losing, talk about that. But I'm just curious on
criticize the play, not the player.
All these NFL players in this draft, we only hear about Shedeur's attitude and if he's so arrogant, this and that, these bad interviews. How many players in the draft?
A lot of eligible ones.
A lot of players in this draft. I didn't hear none of it. So all these other quarterbacks are just super humble. They're just great quarterbacks that's super humble. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Talk about his game. When you talk about his arms not that strong, Chase, I ain't get mad at you for that because that's what you think. His arms not that strong. Cool. When we talking about, like, bad interviews and he's so arrogant, he's entitled. How y'all know that, though? Yeah. How you know if he's entitled? How do you even know that? How you know if he's a bad teammate? How do you, like, this is why it drives me crazy because this might affect his future. You get what I'm saying? Like, wherever you go to a team, a pick shoot, it really matters. There's a lot of guys that were super, super good, but they went to the wrong team and it didn't work out.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
No doubt.
So now, like, all these reports report about football, and I'm okay with that. The teammate stuff, the arrogance, the entitlement, it's like, y'all don't know that.
And I think the reason why these reports are coming out like this is because it is their job, not necessarily why they're coming out, but we see this all the time. It's the team's job to not only figure out the football, but I would say more so everything else, especially at quarterback. What type of leader are you? How are you with your teammates? How are you off? All this stuff. So while I don't agree with the quotes, it's literally the team's job when you're coming out to try and find out the person you are.
I'm not saying it's not their job. I'm asking because you answered, so I'm asking you. So how do these scouts, that's their job, how do they know that? How do they know if he's entitled or not?
I'm guessing with the combine meets, they do a lot of research, they do a lot of private visits, they do all this stuff, and they come to their conclusions, which is their conclusions.
Yeah, it's not yours.
It's not mine. They're entitled to an opinion, but I believe that there's other stuff out there about other players. We just don't hear it in the national media or talk about it because it's Shedeur Sanders.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just trying to figure out, like, how do they know? How do they know that he's he's a bad teammate. How do they know that?
Well, I haven't talked to this guy, so I have no idea.
I'm not talking about him. I'm just saying scouts. Y'all saying the scouts' job.
Well, here's my thing. It's like, one, when you look at it, he's entitled. That's somebody's opinion. If you talk to somebody, you say they're entitled, right? I could talk to Shady. Shady's entitled. Shady could talk to me. Shady could say I'm entitled. My thing, the reason it's not that I don't have an issue with it. This is just the norm. Shady, you and I have been doing this show long enough to know people said way worse about Caleb Williams. Way worse about Caleb Williams. His phone case, I ain't hear about Jaden Daniels' phone case, Bo Nix's phone case, Michael Penix's phone case, Drake May's phone case, but I know what color Caleb Williams' phone case was, and that was an issue?
Yep.
I don't know what color none of them players paint their nails, but Caleb Williams, I know what color he paints his nails, and that's an issue? Like, understand, I don't know what players do after the games, but Caleb Williams goes to the podium and says, I want to go watch Netflix and cuddle with my dog, and that was an issue. So all I'm suggesting is, not that it's right, it's just the norm. This is what happens when you're going through the draft process and you are a star. And Shedeur Sanders is a star. Talk to me.
Yeah, but okay, so as all that built up with Caleb Williams, the question mark was like, yo, is he tough? Is he soft? Is he Hollywood? So you come in here with colorful nails, right? You come up here with, you saying, you get it lost, you jump up there, you crying to your mom in the stands, right? You talk, I want to go cuddle with my Yorkie puppies. Like, some people say that's kind of soft, right?
Yeah.
So I can see where that went. They got the pink case. I can see where that went. You know, guys may have their own opinion. Man, he kind of soft, okay? You crying in the hood, or I'm sorry, not in the hood, but if you crying
football field.
in the football field, it was like, yo, were you crying? It's like you come off as soft. Not saying you are, but you're just soft. Okay, cool. Give me that with Shedeur, though. Run that down to me, because
hold on real quick. Let me break that down.
Yeah.
Okay, so you stunting with the Rolexes after the game, or the watches, they want Rolexes, whatever they were after the game.
Right.
You don't participate in any drills at the combine, but a lot of people didn't participate in drills at the combine. Then you come off as, they called it cocky. They just said he came off as, Caleb Williams came off as soft. Shedeur Sanders comes off as entitled, the quote says. Shedeur Sanders comes off as brash, the executive says. The Shedeur Sanders comes off as arrogant, the executive says. Caleb was soft, Shedeur's arrogant. The next quarterback's going to be this, and the next quarterback's going to be
You see how they reaching, though? Because I can't name a player who don't celebrate. Everybody knows celebrates. Anybody got some swag to them. No matter what color, no matter where they from, they all celebrate, right?
Of course.
Okay, so the Rolex, let's move that to the side.
What up, YouTube family? Welcome to the facility. Thanks for watching, and you better be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to get more highlights from the show and all of our exclusive content.